He wants to meet you in a parking lot?
I don't have a body count.
The answer is no. That's not a real name. I don't think I've ever heard a story with this many red flags.
With the student who promised they were taking a break from dating apps, but re-downloaded them last night, please report to the guidance counselor's office. You're not in trouble. We just want to talk.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the, I don't know why I did that. Welcome to the Daddy Academy. We got a fun episode for you guys today, and we're gonna start it just like how we did last week. A little Q&A, Daddy Academy Study Hall. Our first question of the day. Niko, can you explain the taxi cab theory versus the box theory? Is there any truth to it? All right, so we got the taxi cab theory, we got the box theory. Okay, the taxi cab theory is essentially when a man's taxi cab light is on, that means he's ready for a relationship, okay? So basically, a lot of guys will wait until they have their careers in order, their life is in a whatever place, and then they're ready to be married. Then they're ready for a relationship. There's a lot of truth to that. I mean, a lot of men definitely think that way in some capacity, but I think the box theory trumps it a little bit, okay? So the box theory is basically when a man meets you on a date, he kind of categorizes you in his mind really quickly. You're either sort of girlfriend potential, or you're kind of casual, or someone who he's maybe a little bit interested in, but not to the point of like, I want to turn this person into a girlfriend. So when a man meets someone, meets you perhaps, and is like, oh my God, this is girlfriend material, this is the one, this is the one. He is going to do everything in his power to make things official. So even if it's taxi cab light, maybe in his mind he was like, I don't want to get engaged till I'm 35, blah, blah, blah. He might be 29 and he meets the right person and he's gonna make you his girlfriend. So I would say there's truth to both things, but usually the box theory and when a man meets that right woman for him, it kind of trumps all. Hello, Jamie. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Niko.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm fantastic. So we had a little technical difficulty to start. You're from New Hampshire, you said?
Yes.
And you are a what? Your occupation?
I'm a menstrual health coach. Part of it's educational, and then part of it is more like holistic, helping women heal their hormones if they have hormonal imbalances. And then I do a lot of education with like teenage girls, just teaching them how their body works.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. So,
Thanks.
But that's not why we're on the show today. You have something you have something you want to chat about?
Yes, I have a train wreck of a story to tell you.
All right.
So I hope anyone can find this entertaining because now I do. It's hilarious.
I'm buckled in. Let's go for it.
All right, let's go. So back in October, I meet a guy through Facebook. We had mutual friends in common.
Through Facebook dating or just like Facebook, old school?
Just Facebook.
Old school Facebook. That's how we met him.
We had like mutual friends in common. And then he messaged me like just a cheesy pickup line, and I appreciated the boldness.
Do you remember what the pickup line was?
No, because I really don't. It was so insignificant. But at the time, I like really appreciated like the boldness because like men now don't necessarily go out of their way to like.
They don't.
Make up the first move without
to make a first move.
Yeah. So I appreciated it and I responded. I don't remember what I responded, but quickly, like we took it off Facebook and we were texting. And within the first day, he immediately starts sending me like pictures of himself. So the first one was him at the gym and he was like, do you like my outfit? And like you could clearly see like the outline of his like, you know what? And I was like,
of his eggplant.
Off to a great start, but like I can be more avoidant and I'm learning not to be avoidant.
Yeah.
And so this was like one of my first experiences not being as avoidant. So I was trying my hardest to stay just open.
Try to play into it. All right.
Yes.
I love your shirt.
Like, okay. And then he starts sending me pictures of like, he had just, this is so embarrassing. I can't believe I'm sharing this story. his goatee, and he was like, I just shaved a goatee.
Oh,
like,
ick.
But again, like, he literally lives like 2 minutes away from me. I'm like, this is kind of like weird that I've never met this person.
Oh, he lives very close to you.
Oh, like extremely. That's why I was so open to it. And like, I knew like my best friend has a friend who's friends with him. And so I was like, okay, like, this is a little bit safer of a situation. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
The first time we chat on the phone, he makes it very clear to me that he is going to take me on a date.
Okay.
He's going to take care of things. And I appreciated that because then I don't have to do the whole awkward thing, like at the end of the date where I like reach for my purse to be polite. And,
yeah. Nobody likes to do that move.
So like, I really appreciated like how communicative he was in that way.
Okay.
So he tells me this on the phone, and then quickly he brings up the conversation of body count, as men do.
Ooh.
And
on the phone. So this isn't even on the date. This is on the phone prior to the date.
Yes.
What did he say? What did he say exactly?
He basically like brought up his ex and how she was like a whore that left him for a baseball player. Like, I honestly don't remember. It was so like sly the way he did it. Like, I don't even know how men do this sometimes. Like, not all men do that, but like I have dealt with a good amount of men that like somehow we could be talking about like flowers and then somehow we'll be talking about body count. And I'm like, okay. And like,
I love tulips. By the way, how many guys have you
body? And I don't have a body count. And usually men find this attractive and they like that about me, even if it's in like a creepy, like I want to corrupt you way.
It could end up being in a creepy way for sure.
I've never had like a negative reaction to me saying that. Not that I talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
But he immediately gets like wicked sketched out by me. He was like, are you waiting for marriage? And I was like, no, I'm not waiting for marriage. Well, like, are you sure you like guys? Yeah. I wouldn't be talking to you right now going through this. And he just made it like a little weird. He was kind of like speechless, and I don't know, I just like rolled with it. And then we start talking about something else, and
let me say this before you continue. A man asking for your body count is a red flag. It's a red flag conversation regardless. Like, there's no world where a man should be asking that unless you guys have been in a relationship for a year and you're like, okay, finally, just like tell me, like, what is it?
Yeah.
There's no, like, because it's a lose-lose conversation. I mean, in your instance, you're getting good reactions, but it's still like, it's just not an appropriate conversation to be having, especially before a first date. That is like as red flag as you can get.
Yeah, it was pretty uncomfortable, but like, I don't know. And then we started talking about something else, and he, like, I thought he was listening to me, and then he was like, holy shit, your voice is so hot. And then he wants to meet me in a parking lot for like 10 minutes. He was like, just like 10 minutes, I just want to meet you in person. And I was like, I'm just a little bit more traditional, and I would love to go on a date with you.
Wait. So his idea of a date is he wants to meet you in a parking lot? After you tell him that you're a virgin, you're like, hey, you know what? I got a great idea. Let's go right to the parking lot.
It sounds so bad. Like, in my head, it doesn't sound as insane, but then like saying it out loud, I'm like, holy shit, like this was not right.
Oh my God.
So
how old is this guy?
He was 28 and I was at the time 25.
Okay.
So,
all right, so old enough to know that that's a weird thing to do.
And like, he was also an elementary school teacher.
Arrest him immediately. I think I gotta write him a daddy detention slip. This really hit home for me because he's a fellow academic, all right? What's his name? We'll bleep the name.
His name's
That's not a real name. I wish we didn't have to bleep it, but fucking pervert. You're going to daddy detention. Do guys ever commit to a woman on the roster? The answer is no, all right? A man might have a roster and then meets the one, and then puts all those other women into the D League and moves forward with you and you're his girlfriend. But he's never gonna take a girl he's been seeing casually for 6 months, 8 months, and all of a sudden one day wake up and go, she's my wife. That's not how it works. There could be a lot of comfort there where you guys have a strong connection, but if he was willing to kind of put you in a roster position, he's very, 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 very rarely going to change his mind there and make you his official girlfriend or look for something even more serious than that. And if he does, you're risking it being a situation where he might be settling in his mind, not that you're anything less, but in his mind, he might be settling. And you don't want to be in a situation where a guy meets you and there's this buffer of time where you're kind of casual and it's not official and you're kind of like, you don't want that. You want a man that when he meets you, he's like, yep, this is gonna be my girlfriend, and he makes it happen basically right away. So I would say no, men usually don't commit to a woman who's on the roster, and you shouldn't want him to anyway. You don't want to be number 3 on the bench. You want to be the star of a man's team. Continue the story. All right, so he wanted to meet you in the parking lot, and you're like, no.
I playfully declined. Like, I wasn't like, hell no, I'm not doing that. I was like, I'm just more traditional.
Well,
like,
you're a nice girl, so you're like trying to like,
I want to date.
you're trying to nicely steer him into a normal
direction.
situation.
Yeah,
Right.
like, let's like reconfigure here. And so then like he was like, yeah, we can definitely do that. And then we hang up, and then he texts me and he said, I have a really good feeling about you.
Okay.
And I hearted the message. I hearted it. I was like, I don't really need to respond to this. We just talked on the phone.
Okay.
Next day, he texts me and he goes, was that weird? Like doing like the up point thing to what he said. And I was like, no, I was like, I'm just more of like an actions girl more than a words girl. Like,
Yeah.
oh, whatever.
Right.
That is significant. So then this part's important because it's going to come full circle.
Bring us
again.
home. All right.
Yeah. So now we're into like 2 days into talking, and
This
he
is
was
all
like,
within 2 days of texting and phone conversation.
Niko, this whole story only lasts like a week and a half. Like all of it. All of this.
Oh
So
my God.
he asked me, like, can we talk on the phone tonight? And I was like, sure, like I'll be free in about an hour and a half. I'm working on a project right now with like another coach, so
Yeah.
like,
Another note here. Guy, first of all, a lot of conversation and phone calls and texting prior to meeting is another kiss of death. Like, luckily for you, it worked out in your favor that you saw that this guy was a weirdo. But it's like, usually when someone's doing that, usually when a man is doing that, he's trying to convince you to like him rather than being like, hey, I planned a date for this Friday, and I'll see you there. And then follow up once or twice throughout the week to like make you feel comfortable, which he's doing the opposite. He's making you feel extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But that's the proper way to go about it. It's like, okay, as a man, you booked the date for Friday, let's say it's Monday, and then throughout the week, maybe you chit-chat a little bit, right? Just to keep her lukewarm, keep the comfort going. A day or 2 days before, you confirm the date. The morning of, you double confirm the date, boom. Phone calls and texting. Is this weird? Are you mad at me? Like weird behavior. And I mean, like, this is just a classic example of that. So ladies, if a guy is like overblowing you up prior to meeting, it's typically a bad sign, but continue.
yeah, I hear you on that now. So yeah, and then I tell him like I'll be free in an hour and a half, and then he texts me after an hour and a half. He goes, so can I ask you a question? And I was like, sure.
Here we go.
And he was like, honestly, it seems like you don't even have time for me or a relationship. Does this feel true to you? And I was like, no. I was like, no, that doesn't feel true to me. Like in my head, I was like, who the does this guy think he is? Blah, blah, blah. But I was like, but then I took a step back and I like calmed down. I was like, no, that doesn't feel true to me at all. Like, I have things I'm passionate about and things I work on. And so from that, I was like, okay, so he doesn't like to hear about like work or like work stuff. So I was like, okay, I just like won't tell him about things I'm working on. Whatever. So then I was like, I would really like, can we please set up a date?
Yeah, please.
And so he's
I'm surprised you even still want to at this point, or even open to the idea.
I know. But again, I'm a recovering avoidant, so I was like, let's
Give it a
just
shot.
stick this out.
All right.
And so he's like, what about, can I take you out tomorrow? And like at the time, it was election season, so like the debate was on. I was like, no, I'm watching the debate tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he was like, let's watch it together.
Oh, hell no.
Like, what the
Not the
and I was
vibe.
like, on a date on Friday, and I was like, do you promise you'll take me on a date though? And he was like, yeah. Tuesday rolls around, he texts me, I'm on my way home from work, I'll text you when I get home. At this point, our mutual friend found out this was happening, and he's texting my best friend, being like, yeah, like, I don't really know how he is with women. I can see how he would come off as creepy. And this is like his friend saying this.
I see how he could come off as creepy was the line.
Yeah, he's
Not
so
a
bad.
good. There's not a single friend of a normal man who would say, yeah, you know, he might be a little creepy sometimes, but he's a good dude. Like, nobody would say that. So, huge red flag. Wave the red flag.
Yeah, for real. I overlooked a lot of things here. And so then I go over to my best friend's house, like, before this happens. I'm, like, freaking out. Her boyfriend gets home. I'm like, dude, what do you think about this guy? And he was like, well, I met him once. He's kind of cringe, honestly. And I was like, awesome. I'm about
Kind
to
of
meet
cringe
this
and
guy.
creepy. Those are the adjectives we're getting. Kind of cringe and creepy.
Yeah. So then finally he gets home. He texts me and he was like, I just had a really emotional moment with my family and I'm crying. So, like, are you
crying.
Like,
Ick. All right.
so
Keep
let's
going.
skip forward to the end. Let's wrap it up.
All right, wrap
I'm
it
like,
up.
That happened. I'm like, you know what? I just wanted to go on a date. I didn't want to go over this man's house to watch the freaking debate. So, like, whatever. So Friday rolls around. It's about 3 hours until this is going to happen.
Okay.
I don't know where we're going yet. I bought a new dress for this.
Oh
I was
my God,
excited.
you're a saint. You're really a saint. The fact that you're even like, I'm still giving this a shot, like, it's unbelievable.
So embarrassing. And so he texted me 3 hours before and he was like, so do you actually make money from your job?
Do you actually make money from your job?
Yes, after he complained about me, like, being busy with my work, I stopped talking about it, then suddenly I don't make money?
What does this guy do? What does he do for work?
He's a 4th grade teacher.
Oh yeah, I forgot that he's a teacher.
I know, because there's
This
so much
is,
that's happened
we're
between.
calling, I wish I had my phone on the desk. We're calling the authorities on this guy. This is like, he needs to be arrested immediately.
Yeah, and so I calmly said, yes, I work full time. I work full time. I make money, yes.
I'm a person. Yeah, I'm a person.
I'm a person that has a life, yes. And then a little bit later, I'm getting ready, and he was like, honestly, I just think that it's kind of weird that you're 25 and you've never had sexual feelings before. Literally, I never said that. I never said that, and you're not going to get me to talk about that. It's not your business. Literally not your business. Obviously, I have. Like, he could not fathom that I just have self-control and don't want to be ran through by the time I'm married.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not even waiting till marriage. It's literally just no man can go more than a month without just being weird.
yeah, you have standards and you don't want to bang weird guys who are.
No, like you. Like, no. Holy shit. And so then he wants me to talk about, well, what guys have you felt that way towards?
So this is all through text, like 2 hours before you're supposed to go on the first date?
Yes. And so then
This is a
me doing
nightmare.
that, like, I'm really, And so I call him on the phone. He declines it. And he was like, no, I'm talking to my best friend right now. And I was like, great, okay. So then he finally calms down. He was like, listen, I've had 5 beers and I just really like you and I'm just scared that you're gonna hurt me.
I'm gonna freak out. I'm actually like, I'm gonna freak out, I think. I'm gonna need 5 beers because, and it's only like 1 p.m. Like, I don't know if I can go on the rest of my day after hearing this story. This, honestly, this isn't even wrapped up yet. This is one of the weirder, prior to a first date. Like, I could see guys going off the rails after a first date. He meets you and he's like obsessed. Like, this is really overly emotional, scary guy. Like, this is a scary dude.
And so finally I get him on the phone and I'm like, I think we do better talking on the phone. And this man tells me, okay, like, I think I want to take you to Gate City Casino.
He wants to take you to a f***ing casino.
Yes.
I really do.
Casino. And I literally still was like, you know what? I was so embarrassed. Sure, I'm ready.
No.
I'm all ready. So I guess let's go to the casino. And then he proceeds to ask me, "Can you send me a picture of your ass? And even if it's just through clothes, I just want to see it." Okay.
Wait, hold on. I'm overstimulated. I'm overstimulated. Jamie, this is literally, I had no idea that this is the direction that this was going. This is absolutely crazy. All right, so he says, I had 5 beers. I'm nervous because I think I like you so much. Do you mind if we bring this date to the casino? But before we go, can you send me a picture of your ass?
Yes. And then I'm like, and all I said was, you're gonna have to be patient, sir. Like,
You're still playing along. You're still playing along.
yes. And
All right, you know what? I don't know how the story ends. Yeah, you're going to die. I understand you're trying to fight through your avoidant tendencies, but this is out of control. Jamie, you're going to daddy detention for not blocking this guy's number and calling the police.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And so to wrap it up, basically, he thinks I don't want to go anymore because he commented on my ass, and I was like, you know what? Like, can we just meet? I'm like, what the is this man? And so finally he was like, yes, I'll pick you up. What's your address? I'm dumb. And I gave him my address. And then
No.
He had just been drinking too, so I was like, wait.
He's gonna pick you up after drinking 5 beers to bring you to the casino?
Somebody's looking out for me up there.
Oh
because after all of this, he texts me and he says, I'll pick you up, but we're splitting 50-50. And that's where it ends. I had never been so angry at myself in my life. I was like, I just wasted a week of my time. For this.
I actually don't think I've ever heard a story so insanely bad before. Like, I actually, and I think about it, I talk to people all the time. Like, this is what I do. I don't think I've ever heard a story with this many red flags piling up over the course without even meeting the person.
I know.
Oh, so, Jamie, that is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Well, how are we doing now? Where are we?
No, I
Well, how long ago is this?
6 months ago.
Okay, all right, so we're good now.
So he's the first person I've ever blocked. And I was like, I'm not. And then I woke up the next morning and I was like, oh my God, I feel so free. Like, I felt so good.
He probably had you feeling like you were going insane.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And like now I'm like fine.
Jamie, that is quite the story. Any takeaway? What have you learned from this?
Oh my God, like everything and nothing at the same time. Because, well, I guess I learned like the balance of, am I being avoidant or is my intuition telling me something? And I think that I've been mistaking avoidance as intuition, and I just have strong intuition that protects me from situations like this, and I was ignoring it. And I'm not avoidant. I just have had bad luck.
You're not I love what you just said, because you're not, exactly what you said. You're not avoidant. you're trusting your intuition, and these guys just aren't for you. And you have strong standards, which is amazing. Do not change that. Like, literally do not change that. Have a guy, you're gonna eventually meet a guy who meets what you're looking for, and you're gonna know it right away, and your intuition's gonna tell you. But until then, just keep dumping these bozos. I mean, that quite literally is one of the most crazy stories I've ever heard. But it has nothing to do with you or what you're not doing or you being avoidant. It's just, it's a men issue, and you just happen to be a magnet for some freakazoids.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jamie, thanks for joining us. This was fun. This was a good one.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, my pleasure.